Today on Public Eye News, Wisconsin voters will elect the newest member of their state Supreme Court, and later a man is arrested in Houghton County on meth and epinephrine charges.
Andy Jordan will have your weather forecast for the next couple days. Later, Elijah Anger will bring you today's sports breakdown. I'm Miro Bokovic.
And I'm Emma Mraz. You're watching Public Eye News. The Wisconsin Supreme Court race starts today as Democrats are seeking to expand their slim 4-3 sitting majority. The candidates include Chris Taylor, a Democrat from Madison, who faces off against Maria Lazar, a Republican from District 2 in Washita. Both candidates are state appeal court judges. If Taylor is put in office, liberals will expand their majority on the court with a 5-2. Both candidates have talked about abortion as one of their main concerns, with each backed by groups on their respective sides. Taylor and the Democratic Party have used a significantly higher fundraising budget as opposed to Lazar, with Taylor's backing estimated to be approximately 9 times as much on television ads alone compared to Lazar. And the Universities in Wisconsin Board of Regents is going to meet to fire the system's president, who has refused to resign. Jay Rothman said in a statement that he refuses to leave until he is told of the circumstances for which he should quit. Rothman's announcement has drawn outrage from Republican State Representative David Murphy, who is the chair of the Wisconsin Assembly's Colleges and Universities Committee. According to his contract, Roth can be fired with no reason stated and cannot appeal the final decision. Rothman has been the university's president since 2022 and has had 8 branches closed due to declining enrollment numbers, even though enrollment overall has held steady. The board is set to meet at 5 p.m. Central Time.
A 35-year-old man from Houghton County has been arrested for allegedly planning to produce methamphetamine. This comes after an investigation by UPSET, the UP Substance Enforcement Team. The man was arrested after purchasing many of the required household ingredients that are mixed with pseudoephedrine to make meth. Detectives found several of the ingredients for producing meth in the man's vehicle, as well as evidence that he had previously made it. He was arrested on charges of illegal possession of ephedrine or pseudoephedrine, maintaining a drug house or vehicle, and conspiracy to manufacture methamphetamine. And 170 soldiers from the Michigan Army National Guard have returned home from long-term deployments. The deployments took them overseas to the NATO mission in Kosovo and the International Anti-ISIS mission in the Middle East. About 100 soldiers came home from the 3rd Battalion, 238th Aviation Regiment. They had been part of the NATO-led Kosovo force, which aims to keep the region stable. Around 70 soldiers returned from the 171st Medical Company Area Support. They were a part of Operation Inherent Resolve, providing medical care and protecting the health of soldiers in the area. And President Trump is warning that a whole civilization will die tonight if Iran doesn't reach a deal by 8 p.m. Eastern. Natalie Brand is at the White House with the latest.
Even ahead of the president's deadline for Iran tonight, a U.S. official confirms to CBS News there have been strikes overnight on Karg Island military targets, a vital location for Iran's oil exports. The official says the strikes did not target oil infrastructure.
We're not going to strike energy and infrastructure targets until the Iranians either make a proposal that we can get behind or don't make a proposal.
Vice President J.D. Vance, speaking during a trip to Hungary, said there will be a lot of negotiation between now and the president's deadline.
If the Iranians don't come to the table and they stay committed to terrorism, to terrorizing their neighbors, not just Israel, but of course their Arab neighbors too, then the economic situation in Iran is going to continue to be very, very bad, and frankly, it will probably get worse.
President Trump, in his most threatening social media post yet, warned a whole civilization will die tonight, adding that he doesn't want that to happen, but it probably will.
The president's post also said maybe something, quote, revolutionarily wonderful can happen. On Monday, he detailed the consequences if an agreement is not reached.
Every bridge in Iran will be decimated. Every power plant in Iran will be out of business, burning, exploding, and never to be used again.
Iran's neighbors are calling for de-escalation.
There are no winners in the continuation of this war. There are only losers.
Iran, for its part, remains defiant. The country's president wrote on social media overnight that he, along with millions of other Iranians, are ready to sacrifice their lives in defense of their country. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with your weather and statewide news after this break.
Bukele has agreed to accept U.S. detainees at El Salvador's mega prison.
The deal between El Salvador's leader and the American president.
I want to thank you for the great job you're doing. I appreciate it.
In collaboration with El Faro, uncovering the connections between the Trump administration, President Nayib Bukele, and El Salvador's gangs.
Bukele nos ha vuelto a recordar que si vos sos popular, podés hacer lo que te dé la gana.
Premieres Tuesday, April 7th, 10, 9 Central, only on PBS.
Welcome back. I'm Andy Jordan, here to take you through your Public Eye weather report. Starting off with our roof cam here on campus, as you can see, pretty blue skies. It's actually looking like a beautiful day out there. And now looking across the UP, sunny skies all across the UP, in fact, with the sole exception of Sault Ste. Marie. Starting in Houghton, it is 34 degrees. In Ironwood, 38 degrees. In Iron Mountain, 39. And in Menominee, 36 degrees. Now taking a look at the east side of the map here, in Escanaba, it is 34 degrees, Manistee, 32 degrees, in the Sioux, 31, and back here in beautiful Marquette, 34 degrees and sunny. And taking a closer look at our current conditions here, we have winds at a calm 1 mile per hour coming from the east, and our barometric pressure is 30.46 inches and falling. And looking to tomorrow, or into tonight, pardon me, we have cloudy skies coming back in, unfortunately, a low of 28 degrees, winds coming from the east, picking up a little bit at 13 miles per hour, and our moon phase is a waning gibbous. And looking to tomorrow, clouds staying in with a wintry mix. You can expect both rain and snow with a high of 34 degrees, a low of 27, and winds picking up a little bit more coming from the south at 23 miles per hour. And looking into the weekend, starting on Thursday, a high of 42, a low of 33 with the clouds here to stay. And on Friday, a high of 41, a low of 30, with them dissipating just a little bit, the sun peeking out. And on Saturday, a high of 48, a low of 31 with sunny skies. That's all I have for your weather report. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Andy, for that weather report. Hopefully sunny skies are here to stay. Now on to statewide news. Attorney General Dana Nessel has made an agreement with a catering company after they practiced unlawful and deceptive practices. Alicia Thompson, owner and operator of Late to the Lake LLC, a wedding catering company based in Michigan, is not allowed to practice or engage in catering services for 5 years. Anyone affected by Thompson will be issued a refund. The Department of Attorney General has received over 40 complaints about Late to the Lake. One customer stated that they had a $6,000 catering service booked, which was canceled last minute and was not issued a refund. Another instance included having Late to the Lake canceling the day of the rehearsal dinner. Refunds must be issued by July 1st. If someone has a complaint about Late to the Lake LLC, they must send in a message to the Department of Attorney General by May 1st. And Michigan children are increasingly being sent out of state for mental help. As of September, 152 youths received treatment out of state, which has gone up since 2023. Michigan mental health facilities have closed, and children who have court-ordered therapy or are in child welfare are needing to leave the state, which is most likely out of their control. One family reported that they spent over $90,000 on their daughter's treatment, which insurance did not cover. Families who have children out of state mention that it is very difficult to plan visits, and with limited contact with family members, the child's recovery can be delayed. And the Artemis II mission is now heading back to Earth after a historic loop around the moon. The astronauts traveled farther into space than any other human. Mark Strassman is at the Johnson Space Center.
Houston copies. We'll see you on the other side.
This extraordinary view is Earthsat, our planet dropping below the lunar horizon.
It's a privilege to witness you carrying the fire past our side of the streets. Thank you. Godspeed.
All communication was also about to drop. Pilot Victor Glover.
And all of you down there on Earth and around Earth, we love you.
For 40 minutes, nothing. The crew on the moon's far side could talk only to each other. Then came Earthrise, the planet reappearing above the lunar horizon. Mission Control could hear their astronauts again.
And it is so great to hear from Earth again.
And tell Earth what that experience was like, especially when the questions came during a congratulatory call from President Trump.
What was your feeling when you had no communication? A little bit different, perhaps.
I said a little prayer, but then I had to keep rolling. I was actually recording scientific observations of the far side of the moon. We were busy up here working really hard, and I must say, it was actually quite nice.
Earlier, the crew proposed naming 2 lunar craters, one poignantly for Commander Reed Wiseman's late wife, Carol. She died of cancer in 2020.
And it's a bright spot on the moon. And we would like to call it Carol, and you spell that C-A-R-R-O-L-L.
Mission control was hushed. The crew hugged. It was a day in space that ran a range of emotions and otherworldly experiences.
The surprise of the day, we just came out of an eclipse, and the entire dark moon, about that big, right out the window that we were watching. We could see the corona of the sun, and then we could see the planet train line up, and all of us commented how excited we are to watch this nation and this planet become a 2-planet species.
The entire lunar flyby of the backside took about 7 hours. Today, the crew is in for some science, some manual flying, and some deserved downtime.
We'll be right back with your sports report after this short break. Stay tuned.
We have anchored in our own private bay in this wonderful archipelago. Wow, look at this.
What do you think? Is this good in a martini?
And it's strong. And it's strong. Welcome to Helgeland.
Tuesday at 4:30, 3:30 Central.
And welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Elijah Anger, here to give you your sports report. Starting off on the floorboards, after making only 2 3-pointers all night, the Michigan Wolverines brought UConn to their knees, claiming the national NCAA title with a 69-63 game for the first time since 1989. Though UConn fought to the bitter end, cutting the point deficit they had to 4 with 30 seconds left on the clock, they were no match, however, as the Wolverines' defense were able to hold them to a 30.9% shooting average. Both teams fought to the bitter end with this one, as both coaching staff said they couldn't be prouder of their players. Now moving on over to the pitch, the Detroit Tigers are hoping to break their 5-game losing streak on the road as they face against the Minnesota Twins tonight. The Tigers enter the matchup with a plethora of injuries ranging from 10 days to 60 days for some players, while the Twins only have 3 to their name, 2 of which are 60-day injuries and 1 that is only scheduled to last 15. The Tigers are planning on starting Tarek Skubal on the mound with his 9 strikeouts over the past few games, while the Twins are hoping to start Taja Bradley. First pitch is at 7:40 tonight. And finishing off in the Superior Dome with women's lacrosse, Josie Lakowski has earned her 3rd GLIAC Offensive Player of the Week. Lakowski led the Wildcats to a 16-7 win over Concordia St. Paul over the weekend, where she scored 8 of the 16 goals. These goals were accompanied by 3 assists, marking her 3rd 11-point performance of the season. More than just scoring points for the Cats, Lakowski recorded a career best with 10 draw controls, 3 turnovers, and 3 grounded balls. Nationally, she remains part of the best in goal scoring and offensive talent, with her performances putting her either top of the nation or second. While within the conference this season, the only offensive stat that she isn't leading in is assists and assists per game, where she sits in second with 22. That's all I have for sports. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Eli, for that sports breakdown. How are you feeling about the Tigers?
I'm feeling pretty confident we're going to break that losing streak.
I agree. I hear you have another story for us.
I do. NMU's Symphonic Band and Wind Ensemble will hold their final concert of the semester on Monday, April 13th at 7:30 p.m. at the Reynolds Recital Hall. The Trombone Choir and Orchestra will also be performing their concert at 7:30 p.m. on April 16th and April 22nd, respectively. Additionally, the Marquette Choral Society and the University Choir will perform their concerts on April 25th at 7:30 p.m. and April 26th at 3 p.m.
And that's all the time we have at Public Eye News today. I'm Emma Moratz.
And I'm Miro Bokovic.
We'll see you tomorrow.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU-TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.